All right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. Today we're going to be breaking down Tennessee's running back room heading into fall camp and also talking about why Savion Hiter should choose Tennessee over Michigan. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So looking at this room on paper, if you don't know these players, you look at that blue chip ratio only at 20%, you say, man, Tennessee's going to have some problems running the football in 2025. But that's really not the case. Coach Heupel's rooms have looked very similar to this since he's been up on campus. And Tennessee's always up at the top with the rushing numbers. Actually, for the past couple of seasons, we led the SEC in rushing. This is a run-first program. Tennessee was 60% run to 40% pass last year. That's one of the common misconceptions about what Tennessee likes to do. And that's the number one reason that I think that Savion Hiter should be choosing Tennessee. Also, looking at the blue chip ratio and understanding what Coach Heupel has done pretty much more with less, he's never had a five-star running back. So a guy like Savion Hiter could really break some records. I mean, that's another reason to look at what Tennessee's going to be doing moving forward that Savion should absolutely love. Now, we'll also take a look at some numbers, Tennessee versus the SEC like we typically do, but we'll also throw Michigan into that mix. And I think that y'all will be shocked about how those numbers look. And, of course, we'll also be jumping into the film room. Now, the average size for this room, we always talk about where we at versus the average size for the pro players. With the height, Tennessee's perfectly fine. With the weight, the average NFL running back is at like 213, so close to it. We don't need to be that big, not for this system, and really not even for college necessarily. So we're perfectly fine there, and the average class is a sophomore. So the players that I think will be leaving next year will be number one, Star Thomas. He's a senior. He transferred in from Duke. I think he's going to play very, very well, but he's going to be done after this year. And then I think that Bishop also goes pro, has a really nice season, and so on and so forth. So that just leaves these three running backs here, Peyton Lewis, Morris, and also Justin Baker, who everyone's sleeping on. I have no idea why, but everybody in this room, it's all track speed, okay? Like all these guys ran track. And then also, man, they're going to run very, very hard. I think that they all have good vision. They're going to be able to run through contact, play with really good balance. They can also catch the football coming out of the backfield, which is something I think Tennessee will do a lot more of in 2025. But Morris is the one player that I look at just with like open field running. He's a little bit different. So, will both of the freshmen get the opportunities to play this year? I think so. Coach Sims talked about rotating four guys. That's really where Tennessee wants to be at. And this is also big if you're Savion Hiter or anybody else that wants to play running back, on the highest level outside of the NFL. We're not going to beat you up. Like you're going to be able to split time, split carries, and stay fresh. So every single one of your reps for those NFL scouts is going to be at your absolute best. So with all those things being said, man, let's go ahead and jump into these stats. So we're going to start, actually, let me scroll this thing over, and we're going to start with the carries, okay? So this is just the number of carries last season. This is from 2024. Tennessee was second on this list right behind Texas. So we had 453 carries. You can see that Michigan had 377 carries. And this is just with running backs. It's not quarterbacks or tight ends or nothing else. This is just about running back stats. So Tennessee almost had like 100 more carries than what Michigan had last season. So that misconception, and most people look at Michigan and they say, hey, this is a run-first program. That's just what it feels like. And yes, it is a run-first program, but not as much as Tennessee is. It feels that way because Michigan's passing game isn't great. So that's why you would think of it that way. But let's also look at some other stats. What about rushing yards? Tennessee's at the top of this. Okay, number one. Michigan's all the way down here at number 6. If they were in the SEC, this is about where they would be at. Obviously, the yards probably wouldn't look the same because it's a totally different ball game playing up against real dogs every single week. But you can see that, Tennessee almost had like 1,000 more rushing yards than Michigan did last year. All right, what about yards per carry? Tennessee second here with 5.7. Michigan's way down at the bottom with 4.7, okay? And I'll show you the rest of the SEC. Rushing touchdowns, we're going to come back up to the top for this one. Tennessee's at number 1 yet again with 30. And Michigan is all the way down here at 17, almost had twice as many rushing touchdowns. And what about some of these other things? What about yards before contact on average? So Tennessee is at number 2 here. We average 2.1 yards before the running backs get touched. This is a huge part of the reason that, again, understanding that these kids, Savion Hiter, he wants to go pro. And he wants to, be like a Hall of Famer, I'm sure. Part of that is being able to play for several years. The more, runs that you get, the more contact that you take, the more time comes off of you playing. So this is just one of the many reasons why I would say, yes, of course you would want to come play in this offensive system, especially looking at I mean, with Michigan, I mean, 1.5 yards, you're going to start getting whacked. So, I mean, your numbers won't look as good for Michigan as they will with Tennessee. Now, let's also take a look at some of these other numbers right here. What about explosive runs? Tennessee leads this one too, 66 to Michigan's, what is this, 32. So we had more than twice the explosive runs that Michigan had in 2024. I think that number goes up even more once we add Savion to this team. So last thing is going to be the stuff rate. This is just talking about how many of your runs were stuffed either at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. And actually, let me fix it and do it this way because you want for this percentage to be low. Tennessee's number one here, 10.2%. Michigan actually in a pretty decent spot. Okay, they're at 14.3%, but that's still nothing compared to Tennessee. We're 4 points better there. So all of these things just point towards Tennessee's scheme, our style of play, and all of that. It is very friendly for running backs, and it just doesn't make any sense for you to not want to come play inside of this system. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this film room, and let's start to break down why Tennessee can do these things. Number one, you're going to see boxes that look just like this, okay, where it's only 5 people in that box. So we have 5 blockers, obviously, and then you have that one running back, but you also have the quarterback's legs. So these numbers are even more friendly than what you might think because Tennessee will run option plays and things like that. So we'll go ahead and let this thing run. And these are only with Peyton Lewis. So this is Peyton Lewis here. Obviously, this is in Athens. You see what we're doing to them, running through folks and everything else. This is what we do at Tennessee. But and then also Bishop, right? So these are just 2 of the guys from last season that will be back in 2025. So same thing here. This is versus NC State, lighter box. We also have a tight end for this one. So just great numbers. And then you can still do some of the normal stuff where you have to read your blocks, show some patience. All this stuff looks great for these NFL scouts. Something else that Tennessee loves to do is isolate our running backs one-on-one with these safeties. And for a guy like Savion, who's already big, he can go straight through this. He can also make a miss. Why wouldn't you want to do this? And also, understanding that for all of Tennessee's running backs, all of our guys can do these things. You see running hard, offensive linemen getting in on it. Like, we love to bully folks. We love to push folks around. And that creates these wide open running lanes. I mean, look at it. This is a huge hole. This is what Savion could see. This is what our running backs will see mostly in 2025. Now, this is versus those Buckeyes. You can see that there's still a whole lot of space here, kind of a like lighter box. One of the other things with Tennessee's system is that once you get to that second level, the field opens up just tremendously. Look at all that space. For most teams, you kind of got to get to that third level. Like if you look at Michigan's running game, you got to get to that third level before you see this sort of space mostly. But for Tennessee, you're going to get just wide open holes, open field running through contact. And I think that Savion can make some people miss. I also feel like our running backs this year, they'll do more of making people miss in the open field. I feel like that's a kind of like a point of emphasis. But you can see here, man, Tennessee faces some like heavier boxes too. Well, we'll just run it to the outside. Something else I think Tennessee will do more of in 2025. But you see, you got the convoy of big old dudes that want to come smash somebody blocking for you. We take pride in this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really do. Here, I mean, one-on-one with the safety yet again. And for, I think, any of our backs, if you get this deep versus safety, that's probably going to be 6 points. Typically, if we get tripped up, it's because we got tripped up, right? It's like a shoestring tackle or something like that. But yeah, Bishop, he's showing a whole lot of really nice things here. Speed option stuff. And it's not just about Tennessee's offensive line and ends blocking, but wide receivers too. We take pride in that. We're going to set up lanes on the outside for you to run. And this is one of those plays that I was talking about where you get kind of like tripped up. And, if not, that's 6 points. So I think that Savion's going to be perfectly fine there. Any of our backs, we can do all of these things. I mean, they're all very, very similar. And so you're just kind of seeing more of, what we're talking about. So just different fronts and things like that, but it really doesn't change anything, and then we get to run through contact. I think that Coach Sims does a brilliant job of coaching these guys up. He's a very good coach. And it sounds like he's very player friendly too. Players love to play for Coach Sims. Like I said, I feel like we're going to rotate more backs this season than what we did last year. Last year, it was mostly Dylan Sampson. Okay, Bishop, he got several carries. Peyton Lewis, he got to play, some, but previously, man, Tennessee was rotating 3. Like I said, this year, I think 4 moving forward, could be 4, could be 5. But it's all about staying fresh because we also want to make it to the college football playoffs and have everybody there. There's no need to run these guys into the dirt. But something else that I'll just talk about here briefly is I think that Tennessee's going to use our running backs catching the football more. There were times when we would split them out wide, like in some 5 wide sets, and let them run some routes, catch some screens. We want to get our playmakers the football out in space. Why wouldn't you want to come play in a system like this? Michigan doesn't really use their running backs the same sort of a way. It's just not the same pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be beat up physically. It's going to shorten how long you can play this game. You want to come here and be able to stack up yards, show that you can run the football, show that you can block, show that you can run routes, catch the ball, all those types of things, because that looks a lot better to these NFL scouts. And you're doing it in the best conference in the whole world outside of the AFC and the NFC. So, yeah, it just, to me, everything would make perfect sense for Savion to come and play for us. But also because of things like this, it's not just about all the different like wrinkles that we just saw previously, but Tennessee's going to be adding the pistol in 2025 and also moving forward. Now, with the pistol, this is something that Michigan does a lot of. So I'm just saying that guys like Savion that's looking at Michigan or some of these other teams that run kind of like more pro style stuff, I understand that Tennessee's also adding that to our playbook moving forward. So that also looks good to these NFL scouts. But I'm showing y'all Oklahoma back in 2024 with their pistol because their offensive coordinator at this time in the season, he's going to be coming, or he's already up on campus with Tennessee. He's going to be helping us with some of this pistol stuff. So our schemes and all that's going to look similar to this. Of course, it's not going to probably look exactly like this, but the whole point here is that this is more like NFL style running. And this is something that I think would fit Savion's skill set very well also. So, you get the wide splits with the kind of like ladder boxes and things like that, but then you also can show, hey, I can do some of this pro style stuff. And it's just a total win-win situation. There's not a box that Tennessee doesn't check off. So saying all those things for Savion Hiter, you most definitely should choose the University of Tennessee. We would love to have you. And also Tennessee's running back room is going to be perfectly fine. I predict that we'll be #1 in rushing in the SEC yet again this year. And, I also think that there's a pretty good chance that we'll be #1 in the entire country because that offensive line is only getting better. Like we saw 2024 highlights and clips and things like that. Looked pretty good. We've always been good with the run blocking, but it's going to be even better with some more outside zone stuff. And we talked about that with Tennessee's offensive line. So I just think that we have an answer to every question for any defense with our running game. There's no real way to be able to stop Tennessee's running game and our passing game. So feeling great about this room, feeling great about really Tennessee's offense, and I'm also feeling great about landing Savion Hiter. But those are my thoughts. Y'all please give me yours down in that comment section. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be talking to y'all later on. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.